Colored content exclusive.
Hi everyone, it's Vicky, and I'm here with A.Retina, the creator of the Underground Project.
Yay! Hey everybody!
So I have some questions to ask you about your documentary.
Sure.
Okay, so for anyone who isn't aware of what it is, could you tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, so the Underground Project is a project that I did my senior year in Parsons School of Design here in New York. It started out as a photograph series because I was a photograph major at Parsons. And then the video actually was like the behind the scenes of the project. And I remember like midway through our critiques, because the thesis project, starts in the fall semester and goes all the way to spring semester before you graduate. And in like probably like mid-November, I remember bringing in like the behind the scenes footage so that my class could have like more insight of what I was doing. And they just became so captured with that. They were like, why didn't you show this? Like, this is a gem. This is beautiful. Like, the way that you talk to people is amazing. And it gave me a chance to like step back and see what am I doing, and really capture the essence of what I wanted to do. I wanted to really give a platform for underground artists, Black males in particular, which is what my project focuses on, and allowing them to have a voice that isn't hyper masculine, isn't aggressive, and just is very genuine to who they were. Because I feel like, coming from the music industry, prior, I was an intern at The Source magazine. That's just the dominant force that's always put in the forefront. It's very masculine, very overly aggressive, and I've just been able and blessed to know people that have a dual side. So why not show that?
So that kind of talks to, I was going to ask next, what inspired it? So it was mainly the source that inspired you to create it, or working at the source, seeing that these weren't images that were kind of told, or these stories weren't being told. So you wanted to tell those stories. Is that correct?
Sort of. Well, I think I've always been able to discover a different side of a man. I've grown up around all boys. All my cousins were boys. I have brothers. I don't have a sister. So I've always been able to like notice a facade and notice a genuine human being. And just the fact that I was at the source and I was able to have access to these people that are usually put on such a high pedestal just gave me like it was like the icing on the cake. Because like my last project that I actually did at the source with one of my coworkers was to interview an underground artist. And even that comparison, like, you go from interviewing people who have 1 million followers and press training and all this like experience, and then you go to someone who is underground and who is trying to build their following and who is open to expressing any side of themselves, and you get such a different interaction with them. So that's where I kind of like latched on to the whole underground culture, and then I started to want other people to see what I'm seeing, because there's so much insight, there's so much value, there's so much power in someone who is still humble and is not contaminated by the industry.
What was the biggest obstacle creating this project? So you already were starting it, but what was like the biggest obstacle you had?
The biggest obstacle I had creating this film, you mean like technically or like just in personally?
Just general.
Okay, so the biggest, I guess, obstacle that I had was kind of, okay, so I was the only Black girl in my class, and I was the only, I think out of our graduating class was probably 3 African American women. And it's just like, I was blessed to have one of my other African American friend who was very vocal about how she felt about African American culture as well, because when you don't have anybody who relates to your work, it's kind of hard to like every week go in and say, this is what my culture, this is what I want you to understand, and try to give it value to people who don't understand. that was an obstacle for me, just being Black. But I was able to execute it so organically that people from different cultures wanted to latch on and wanted to know more. So it was a blessing and a curse.
What is the largest message or the message you want people to take from the Underground Project?
Oh, you have some really good questions here. What is I want let me say it like this. Okay, let me say it like this. My final critique in college, I remember the last comment that I got was, "You made me view Black women different. Black men different. I'm sorry, Black men different." And this was from one of my classmates who is Asian, and one of my classmates that was Caucasian, you know, shook her head in agreement. And I just remember I was so overwhelmed with emotion that I was in the back of the class and it was dark, so nobody could see that. But a tear came down. And I was like, that's all I want. And it's not even me being emotional or me being sensitive, but like with all the things going on in the world, to have people relate and understand that the voice matters is all that I want. Is all that I want. So if people just take that time to want to understand and want to see something different than what is programmed into their mind, I've succeeded.
That's good. Like, just people understanding. Someone who didn't see the way Black men are portrayed in media, they understand. And then I think also people who are Black, sometimes they don't realize how media is affecting them and what their expectations are.
Yeah. So. It's so easy to get caught up in things that don't matter, and so it's so easy to kind of disvalue yourself based upon what other people think of you.
These great things that you're working on, where can they find you?
They can find me at my website, which is www.aretinastewart.com, which is currently being totally revamped. The second week of January, it'll have all my new content, all these things I've been talking about. They will be on the website and accessible to everybody. Also, my Tumblr, aretinastewart.tumblr.com, and on Instagram at _ARStewart. You can find me. Please reach out. Anybody who wants to collaborate, talk, go to the coffee shop, talk about things.